Welcome back inside the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena as the Binghamton Senators taking on the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins here tonight in a big East Division affair. Binghamton still mathematically alive in the chase for a playoff spot. The numbers not looking real good right now, but Binghamton still actively hunting that final berth in the Eastern Conference, and I'm pleased to be joined by right winger Jonathan Cheechoo. And Cheech, welcome to tonight's broadcast. And obviously, circumstances bringing you here, they're not fun to talk about, but that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on and talk about maybe so much the last year has gone for you, the last 6 to 7 months, but overall since that big year you had during the 05-06 season. First of all, this year in Ottawa, you come over in the Danny Heatley trade along with Milan McCulloch, and with that, it just didn't pan out. Obviously, Milan, up until his injury, really putting the puck in the net with amazing regularity. Talk about the struggles of, I guess, trying to regain that lost scoring touch. You come to a new team, and it's a fresh start. And I know it probably no one feels worse about it than you do, about how it hasn't worked out. But you can talk about some of the challenge you faces up top this year with Ottawa.
Well, it was just it was tough. I felt like I was working hard, and you know, I was up there in the team in shots. Things just weren't finding their way in. You know, if they could hit the post, they would instead of going in. And you know, some goalies came up with some fantastic saves on me too. That you know, usually I put those ones in on. So you know, probably lost a little bit of confidence over a little bit of the time, but. You know, coming down here, I think I've gained quite a bit back, and you know, I know I can play at that level up there, and it's just a matter of you know, getting another opportunity.
You talk about the tough luck you've had up there, and I mentioned it too before we started the interview here tonight. Seeing a handful of games on television and seeing you get those chances, and some of them just left you looking to the ceiling, like, what do I got to do to score a goal? Does it become? It has to become a mental thing at some point, because, like you said, you've always been a hard worker. The opportunities were coming, but they just weren't finding the inside of that 4x6. Talk about the mental aspect of trying to overcome this.
Well, it's definitely. Tries on your patience a little bit. So you know, for me, it's just, you know, having that belief in myself, and you know, sticking to what has worked in the past. And you know, if you work hard, I believe, you know, anything's possible for me. And you know, that's what got me to where I am. And you know, I continue to do that to this day. And you know, hopefully I'll continue to do that the rest of my life. You know, and you know, hopefully I can turn things around here faster.
Kind of turning back for fans that aren't familiar, we're talking to a former Rocket Richard Trophy winner, meaning he was leading goal scorer in the National Hockey League back in the 2005-2006 campaign. 56 goals. It doubled your output from the previous year, and there was a lockout year in between. You went overseas and played a handful of games, but 28 goals during the 03-04 season. You double that to 56. An amazing turnaround, not turnaround, but amazing improvement. Talk about some of the elements, and I know it's a lot more than just saying, hey, all those pucks this year, the goalies are kicking out of there, hitting the iron. It's a little bit more than that you had that success back then in the 05-06 season.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a progression. You know, I had 9 my first year, and then my second year I had 28. So, you know, I tripled it that year. I just see that more as a jump in that area than the one when I got 56. You know, but you know, it was an amazing year. Like I had games where I felt I couldn't miss. You know, I'd shoot pucks, wrist shots from the blue line that would find their way in, and you know, it's one of those things when you're a scorer, you have to have confidence, and you know, somewhere along the line, I think I lost that a little bit. So it's just a matter of getting back to that, coming out, having fun, playing the game, working hard, and you know, getting tons of shots.
Well, and certainly it was a great season you had. Do you ever look back at that season with 56 goals and maybe look at it a little bit as a curse? You raise the bar so high, and then it almost becomes an expectation every year. You had a great season the following year with 37 goals, but the decline has been steady. Do you look back and say, gee, maybe that wasn't such a good thing when I put 56 home?
I'll never say that. It was a magical year. I had a lot of fun with it, and you know, not very many people get to say they led the league in goals, and you know, I'm proud of that fact. And you know, whatever happens, happens. You know, I still got to come out and produce. You know, I feel I put more pressure on myself than anybody else does. So for me, it's about, you know, personal pride and coming out and playing the game and, you know, playing it right.
Oh, we circle everything back around to your current status here in Binghamton. You were put on waivers by Ottawa Senators when things weren't working out. 6 goals in some 50 or 60 games this season. Can you talk a little bit about that conversation that General Manager Brian Murray had with you, or maybe it was Head Coach Corey Clouston, or maybe both in tandem, that said, here's the plan. We want to, I'm sure it was, we want to try to get you jump started. We don't want you to kind of die on the vine. Can you talk about that and then the subsequent assignment here to Binghamton?
Yeah, it was Brian Murray brought me into the office and let me know what the plans were. Obviously, it's never fun when you hear news like that, but at the same time, for me, hockey's still hockey wherever it's being played, and I love the game so much that coming down here, I wanted to come down, work on my game, and try to show them up there that like they made a mistake, that I am capable of playing, and whatever happens, happens. I just gotta come out and play to the best of my abilities.
Well, you made an impact down here right away, scored a big goal in what turned out to be a win over the Rochester Americans here on a Sunday afternoon. And with that, it would have been very easily for you, and just by the things you've said already, it's not within the fabric of your personality, but it could have been very easy just to come down here and play out the final 20 games. You're still getting paid your National Hockey League money, which is a pretty hefty contract, but I think it's really a tribute to the character, how hard you've worked down here, and I've heard nothing but positive things from the coaches and other teammates in that regard.
Yeah, well, it's something, I had great guys when I came up that were in the NHL, great veterans that, were around me that showed how hard they work. I had a guy like Adam Graves who played a lot of years. He scored over 50 goals, and, he was kind of in his last legs. But to sit beside him and see how hard he works still, and, how much passion he had for the game, I think, that's something I learned from him. And, come down here, regardless of where you're playing, it's still hockey, and I do love the game, and I would never think twice of disrespecting it in any way, like coming out and not giving my full effort, and that's what got me to this level, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Well, 12 points in his first 19 games here with the Binghamton Senators since being sent down by Ottawa. My intermission guest, Jonathan Cheechoo. Cheech, good luck the rest of the way here this season. Hopefully things turn around and we see you up on TV and the National Hockey League stage in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay with us. We'll have more coming up on tonight's intermission report in just a moment. The Sens and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins also coming away with second period action in just a moment here on the Senators Hockey Network.